Jalen Rose, Carmelo Anthony, seems like he's been in the news about his move to Houston for about a month now. But the news is really about whether or not he's going to start, which I find very interesting. Mike D'Antoni said he's open to coming off the bench. We've had a conversation about it. And then Carmelo Anthony was asked by TMZ, and he basically said, hey, let's let it play out. How do you think Carmelo Anthony feels that the discussion about him is really now centered around whether or not he's going to start basketball?
He feels like a veteran that's on his third team in 3 years, and that becomes a crossroads because either you reinvent yourself and you play a few more years if you're healthy, you plateau, or you're on your way out. And as a guy that's played 1,100 or so games and never came off the bench, but yet still feels in his head that he's a starter, that's going to be a tricky dynamic for them to juggle. Still, we saw how he responded in OKC when the thought of that even came up. So let's not act like that was 5 years ago.
That was a different part of his career, though. It was a year ago, but it was 2 teams ago. And there's also this, as someone who's played the game, let's say you still play 30 minutes a game and you finish games. Does it matter that you don't start?
For him, in this dynamic, yes.
Okay.
Because I'm going to flip it on you. Really, the conversation shouldn't be whether he starts. It should be whether he finishes. The problem is fans and media have elevated the starting position so much in sports because you get to hear your name called at the beginning. You run out with the best of the best.
You got the handshakes with everybody.
If you really believed in me, you'll have me out there at the beginning of the game if I was one of the best 5 players.
If I'm playing 30 minutes, then I probably should be playing in the first minute of the first quarter.
And the 6-man role has been invaluable in basketball.
Especially
going
for
back
this team with Gordon.
For whatever. For James Harden was a 6-man.
Yeah.
And he became an MVP. So with that being said, he would take it as a slight if he did not start. And so for Houston, I bet they want to put him in that position. And at the start of the year, he will be in that position. Now, if that lineup or he struggles in particular, he's going to have a short rope. But here's the tricky part is he will definitely always finish.
Definitely always?
Yes.
See, that's because they don't have a 3. Like, I was looking at their depth chart today to see exactly how this would all work. They need a 3. Like, they need that Ariza spot because they've got Harden, Paul, Gordon, and then they've got kind of Tucker, Anthony, Capella. So from those 6, where do you find the 5 that'll finish the game? They just don't really have like a 3.
It depends on matchups, but that's my point. He will finish, but the conversation is, will he start? And he's going to finish because you need a guy out there, especially as a 3rd, sometimes 4th option, depending on what's happening with Capella, can actually make a play for himself and is going to be a veteran in a situation where you give him the ball and he actually can make a quality play and or make a big shot. He's shown that he can do that. And what I want people to do this year for him, and this happens so much with athletes. You ready for this? Judge him by how much he's being paid. He's getting $2 million for the Rockets.
That's not fair. That's not fair. You cannot say that because he's really making $30 million this year because he got bought out by the Hawks. So he's getting paid $30 million if you ask me.
He's getting paid $2 million.
But that's just an okey doke thing. Like, he's not getting paid $2 million. He's getting paid $30 million.
No, he isn't.
His contract was for $28 million. That's what he got paid.
He already got that money in the bank. Okay. He could just say, I want to retire. But he wants to go play for the Houston Rockets.
If you judge him on what he gets paid, he's going to be the best value in the NBA. And that's the thing about the Rockets. I love Daryl Morey. I love all the moves he makes, which is one thing I'm going to say now into this microphone. They're going to get a 3. Like this is not the final. This is not the playoff roster for the Houston Rockets. They've got a glaring hole in their roster, and they're going to fill it. It's not Gerald Green.
Absolutely. And the reason why I make that distinction, in particular for Carmelo, is because as a player that's going to the Hall of Fame, but also came in the same draft class as LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, it's like they're going to be in the same building, but it almost feels like they should be in separate rooms.
Ask Bill Simmons about that. He's got a whole theory for you.
Right? And so since that's not going to take place and he hasn't been out of the first round but one time in his career, and he played on a big stage in New York where he wasn't able to
for Mike D'Antoni.
And so there are a lot of people that say, well, he's making this and he's making that. Well, in this case, he gets to ease into the Houston situation and be a difference maker.